Some of the biggest stars and Cage Warriors went on to absolutely dominate the UFC, so it might be hard to believe that there was ever any animosity between the two organizations. Household names like Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping, and Dan Hardy are all well-known former Cage Warrior stars. However, back in 2004, when the MMA scene was still in its infancy, the relationship between the two organizations was far from cordial. So today we're going to talk about the time that Cage Warriors almost got sued by the UFC. On the 2nd of May 2005, the founder and CEO of Cage Warriors, Truman, went on a public promoters forum to express his unhappiness with the behaviour of Dana White. Truman explained that on the 2nd of May, he received a letter from a firm of solicitors representing Zuffa, in which legal action was being threatened over Cage Warriors' alleged breach of UFC trademarks. As a result, Truman was given until the 15th of February to comply or face legal proceedings. Further information wasn't provided. However, Truman clarified that a little over a year prior to the letter from Zuffa, he received an email from a member of staff at the UFC offices requesting that Cage Warriors remove all UFC email addresses and to stop emailing Dana White. For context, Cage Warriors started in 2001 and only had its first MMA event in 2002. So this lawsuit was coming at a time when Cage Warriors was still in its infancy as an organization. In this spirit, Truman continued by writing, "To some of you, this will mean absolutely nothing, but to those of us who have worked hard to build an MMA community in the UK and to push the boundaries of awareness to the masses, not just for our own personal organisation and events, but teach others and a general overview of MMA globally, then this is a big kick in the teeth." Truman went on to explain Cage Warriors' efforts to actively promote the UFC in the UK out of a sense of camaraderie, but later made it clear that the UFC's president was seriously out of touch with what Cage Warriors were trying to achieve in the UK, and that Dana White was obviously trying to push his weight around and generally bully the little guy. The most compelling part of Truman's statement was where he stated that he once thought that as a fellow promoter of the same sport, Dana and himself could communicate personally and build a bigger global presence for the sport and share ideas that would eventually be of mutual benefit. Truman ended his post by telling Dana to stop whining like a little B word and to grow a pair of stones and just do it, as in to sue him. Don't mince about like a fairy with your pathetic attempts to threaten me. Get your big fat checkbook out and pay a decent firm of solicitors and go for it. See you in court, big boy. And Truman ended his post there. Clearly the two organizations seem to have repaired relations over the years, and Cage Warrior fights now feature on UFC Fight Pass. And aside from being a promotion that nurtures UK top talent, the organization went on to make history, with Cage Warriors 114 being the first time that an MMA event was officially approved by the UK government. But let us know your thoughts. What do you think about this rocky start in the MMA world and this little bit of MMA law? And as always, like, comment and subscribe.